than that, but that's the basis of it. Then once they get to what I call the magic point, they begin to see that that person's still in their life, and their heart starts to open up. So in this workshop where we do this work in Dallas, Texas, this is 10, 12 years ago, early 2000s, 30 or 40 people are there. And Johnny, he's 66 years old. He doesn't read or write very well. And he's the last one to be finishing up doing the work, because there's a lot of writing to where before you get ready to have your last final crescendo, we'll say, where your heart opens and tears of love stream down your face, and the only words that you can say to the person that's missing in your life is thank you and I love you, and your heart just opens and your heart fills up with your love for them and their love back to you, believe it or not, even though they're dead, and your heart just fills up with love, and you're full with that person, like fulfilled. So Johnny's the last to start doing the work to finish up, and I could tell that he was struggling. So I just walked up and I said, Johnny, are you ready to love? And he just looked up at me with his little big burly guy, like this tall to me, big, burly, strong, muscular guy, been a hardworking guy his whole life. Are you ready to love? And he looked up at me and he says, yes. And I'm looking and I'm like, I'm seeing like a young boy sitting there. And it's Johnny. And I'm realizing, oh my gosh, he's a young boy. This wound that he's carrying around to his dad. So we're doing this work, and I'm asking him the questions. If people come and they'll participate, answer the questions that I ask them, and if they participate, I guarantee they're going to have an experience of love with the person that is missing, and it happens every single time. It has yet to fail. So he's participating. I'm asking him questions and pulling this out, and all of a sudden, Johnny's heart starts to open up. And this tremendous amount of love coming present into the room from his father to Johnny. And this energy starting to come through me, and I'm speaking the energy that's coming forward, Johnny's dad to Johnny, and I just can't stop saying, I love you, Johnny. I love you, Johnny. I love you, Johnny. I love you, Johnny. It wouldn't stop. I love you, Johnny. And where he hugged, crying tears of love. I love you, Johnny. I love you. And he's saying, I love you, Dad. I love you, Dad. And our hearts are just open. And there's just love. And I couldn't open myself up big enough to share the love, 60 years worth of love, to share the love that wanted to pour out onto Johnny. And I needed help from everybody there, so we kind of piled on Johnny in the middle. Just giving him a giant group hug, 30 people just hugging Johnny. Just love being present. I love you, Johnny. Love you, Johnny. Finally, the energy's starting to ease up. And we all go and sit down. We were in that group hug for a good 10 minutes or so. And Johnny starts crying, and he says, you just don't know, you just don't know. And we're like, we don't know what? He's like, you just don't know. And he starts to share a story. This was Saturday. And Friday, the Friday before, he had just gotten the results back from a heart test. He's Mexican-American. He spoke very broken English. From a heart test, so on his best, he was explaining what was going on. Basically, what I could get were, they were telling him he had somewhere between 6 months and 6 weeks and 6 months to live. And I just knew that whatever was going on with Johnny's heart was because he shut his heart off when he was 6 years old to his father and was carrying around intense hatred for his father for 60 years. And this 60 years worth of love just poured out into this room. I mean, everybody in the room is crying. There's that much love there. And I just had this sense, Johnny, I don't know what's going on with your heart, but I just have a feeling, whatever it was, you probably helped yourself out in it in a long ways. Well, quite a bit of time passed, and I had the pleasure of seeing Johnny 6 years later. Absolutely vibrant with life. I mean, alive. When he was at the seminar, He looked pale. He looked death. His skin didn't look alive. It looked gray. Like he looked like he was ready to die. 6 years later, I saw him just vibrant, alive, had slimmed down into a great weight for himself, just vibrant and happy to be alive. And that's the power of love.